let's switch this up.
Extremely toxic best friend story time. So when I was in 8th grade, there was this boy. And this boy would go around telling almost every girl that he liked her. And I was one of those girls. And he would do stuff with all of us. And there were like 11 of us. So we all hated each other. Especially this one girl, and we're gonna call her Abby. And every time we saw each other, we would be super mean to each other. Well, a year passed, we stopped talking to this kid. And I bumped into her at homecoming and basically apologized. So after that, we became best friends. And everything was good until every time I told her about a guy, she would start talking to them. Like this one boy that I was Snapchatting and talking to, she accidentally sent nudes to him and said, "Oh, sorry, I meant to send them to my boyfriend." So then she called one of my other best friends and said, "No, it actually wasn't an accident." And of course he told me because he was my best friend. So I was like, whatever, and stopped talking to the boy. And she did it again, like for part 2.
I found out that my boyfriend was cheating on me, and it only got worse from there. Story time. I will never ever forget the day I found this out. I also just wanted to add for my US viewers, I'm going to pop on screen now all of my handles if you want to follow me elsewhere. And back to the story. I had just finished work for the day and it had been a crazy stressful day. And this is when I get a text from an unknown number. It was a really blurry image of my boyfriend, who we will call Steve, and my daughter, who we will call Amy. Now, I had been working late this night, so Steve and Amy went out for dinner. Steve was like, yeah, we'll be going out for like a daddy-daughter night. It'll be really cute. I should probably add right now that Steve is not Amy's biological father. However, he has known her since the age of 3. She is now 20. The picture is of Amy and Steve at the bar. It looks like they're laughing. They're sat very close to each other. A little bit too close for my liking. She's basically sat on his knee, which if she was 4, adorable, but she's not. Like I say, Amy is 20 and Steve is nearly 47. And to be honest, I just brushed this off, thinking that maybe it's just like some sort of weird angle, it's just a fluke. But the more I tried to shove it off, the more something just nibbled at me. So I decided that I was going to confront Steve about it the next morning. I'm trying to stay calm. So I say, hi, I actually got sent a picture of you and Amy today. I didn't give any context. I just said, what's going on there then? He literally froze, eyes super wide, but before he could speak, my phone buzzed. This time it was a video, a super fuzzy video, but I could see very clearly it was Steve and Amy kissing. How could he have been so careless? Girl, what are you saying? What do you mean careless? He's cheating on you. Let him care less. What? Why is that your concern? Amy had always looked up to me. And she had always looked up to Steve. Yeah, babe, just in a different way. But this has completely crossed the line. Girl, the line is so far away. The line is a dot. The worst part of all of this is realising that all of this had been going on for months. I had been working loads, working overtime to afford for our family, because Stephen recently got made redundant, so it was all on me. I thought it was actually really nice that he was spending so much time with Amy. Now, I would class myself as a very strong-willed person. I stood there. I didn't cry. I was just completely numb. All of it just started to weigh in on me. That night, I packed up all of his things. Now, what I need help on is what do I do with my daughter? Every part of me wants to be so angry at her to kick her out. But at the end of the day, I love her so much. She is my pride and joy. She's old enough to live on her own, and she's clearly old enough to be with older men. So what do you think is the best thing to do in this situation?
I got fired from my dolphin boat job, so let's talk about it. I have promoted them on my social since the day I started working for them, but now it's time for me to de-influence you from going on their boat because of how they treat their employees. So my friend who got me the job actually got fired. You want to know how she got fired? They literally deactivated her Fair Harbor account because she was talking crap about one of the head honchos, which we all have because he is one of those guys that likes to mansplain to you how to do your job that you've been doing for 7+ years. So anyways, they deactivate her account and don't have a conversation with her. Literally nothing. She can't log into her Fair Harbor. Fair Harbor is the platform that we use to see like if we're working that day. So that was the first red flag where I was like, wow, that's very unprofessional. The next thing, they decide to cut all the photographers' pay by $20, which might not sound like a lot, but when you're working 4 days a week, it adds up. Not to mention my GoPro has broken on their boat and my camera lens has to be replaced because of all the water that's splashing on my camera, which it's my gear, like I knew what I was signing up for, but for them to deduct our pay by $20 just kind of felt like a slap in the face. All of us photographers are in a group message and we're like, hey, like, how do y'all feel about this? And we're all kind of like agreeing, like, yeah, this is kind of like a slap in the face. We don't like it. Should we set up a meeting to like talk about this? Maybe we could start making more off of the photo packages or just like come to some kind of common ground. So me being the vocal person that I am and sticking up for what I know I deserve, I politely asked if we could have a meeting and like set up a time to talk about potentially like raising our rates. And literally 4 hours later got a text that says we'll no longer be needing your photography services. And I was like, that's weird, because I literally asked for a meeting. And she has the audacity to say that this job is all about teamwork and positive energy. Oh, okay, yeah, let's go there. So teamwork. I do not make commission off upselling wetsuits, but the crew does, so I upsell the wetsuits for them. Okay, that's teamwork right there. Second, you want to talk about positive energy? I am the most positive and upbeat person on that boat, and I have like 7 to 8 people who will vouch for me. Literally, my captain on multiple occasions has asked me if I'm on crack cocaine today, and I'm like, no, I'm literally just high on life, bro. Like, are you not? Like, we're swimming with dolphins. I was like, okay, you guys are literally just a bag of bullshit, because you're gonna have to come up with a better excuse. So then I basically defend myself and I was like, yeah, I know that's not true. And then she was like, I didn't make the call. And I was like, okay, well, who do I need to talk to figure out why I got fired? And then she didn't respond to me. Oh, not to mention they also owe me like $900. So still trying to get that. I don't want this video to be 1.5 years long, so go to part 2. It's already
Story time on the craziest girl at my high school. And I don't mean fun crazy. I know you guys have been waiting for the story times, and I'm finally all done with high school, so I'm gonna start doing like one really good one a week. I'm only gonna tell these stories from my personal experience. I don't want to spread like any false information, any false rumors, so if I don't know, I won't be sharing the information. But what I do know is that this girl came to our high school. I forget which year, but she came to our high school. She was all the rave. She was super pretty. She seemed to be super nice. I think I know why she came to our school, but I'm not for sure, so I'm not gonna say it. I never really had a big run-in with her until my best friend at the time started dating her ex. I always have heard things because she went through a lot of friend groups, and there was just always some kind of drama attached to that, you know? So anyway, my best friend starts dating her ex. They broke up. She said she didn't cheat. He said she did. She said, I don't know what's true, but basically he meets my best friend, and when I tell you, these two together are the perfect couple, I can't even explain. Like, they're so in love, they're gonna get married. If they don't, I don't believe in love. This girl also gets a boyfriend around the same time. They're both moved on. Great. No, not great, because she's not. She keeps finding ways to text her ex, which is now my best friend's boyfriend, so you know, it's unsettling. They're a happy couple. Leave them alone. He never answers her. He keeps blocking her. Eventually gets to the point where she literally is texting him through her friend's phone. She like sent him a song that like reminded her of him. I'm just like, what? You have a boyfriend. I remember my friend showing me like a DM where she was like, my mom saw you driving today. I was thinking of you. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, it gets to the point where she literally texts him through her friend's phone and is kind of like blackmailing him to talk to her in a way. I'm not gonna say why, you know, those are her reasons. That's not for me to talk about on the internet. And my best friend is hanging out with her boyfriend, so you know, she stands on business and is like, look, if you need to talk to him, like, I'll be right here on the phone with him, but you can call if you need. So the girl's like, never mind. So it's just kind of at a point where, you know, she has a boyfriend. She shouldn't be texting her ex, so this is where I come in. I'm very good at confrontation. I'm also very good with my words. So me and my best friend sit down and we type a long letter for her that's very nice and direct. It wasn't mean whatsoever. The worst part was the end where we were just like, look, if you need help from your ex, we're gonna have to screenshot these texts and send them to your boyfriend, because what is going on? She reads the text, but she doesn't answer it. And of course we go to school that week and hear that my best friend apparently sent her some mean text. Obviously no one believed this because, you know, my best friend at the time is so unproblematic. Literally no one batted an eye when she said something. No, it goes mute for a while, and then we're at the point where my best friend's boyfriend needs his clothes back from this girl. So my friend texts her the first time and asks, and she's just like, well, why doesn't my ex pick it up? Then my best friend fought back and said he doesn't want to waste the gas. So she pulls the I'm not home right now, which is fine. So my best friend texts again and asks for the clothes again, and just saying that she'll swing by to grab them if you leave them on the front porch. Swings by, no one's there. She doesn't get out of her car. There was really no response, so she just kind of went on with her life. And the girl then said she gave away all of his stuff, which didn't make sense for reasons, but I don't want to get the story wrong, so we're just gonna continue. Anyway, this girl's mom ends up texting the girl's ex's, my best friend's boyfriend, and the whole thing is kind of complicated. Basically saying that my best friend and her boyfriend's little sister were like harassing this girl. Just everyone knows that that's not true. This girl's mom also called my best friend a horse. Like, what? Sorry, but if you are over the age of 30 and you need to talk crap about high school girls, what are you doing? Her mom has literally made so many girls feel bad about themselves, like almost bullied out of friend groups. Like, I know this is a fact for sure because I have witnessed it. But regardless of the fact, this whole thing just goes on for way too long, and I'm like walking in the hallway behind her and she just doesn't care about who's around her, I guess, because I just hear her talking about this whole scenario completely wrong. Like, she's telling the story. Oh, I messed up on those. Telling the story so wrong and calling my best friend a fan. My best friend doesn't even say this girl's name, let alone act like a fan. And I made a story time about that whole kind of interaction as well, but I've been very careful about the story times that I share because I did it once to this other girl. Actually, that girl might top craziest chick. I don't even know. I'm not gonna say that because that's mean, but I did do like a story time about homecoming drama, and she made it seem like I was bullying her because I was calling out all the bullying I went through being her friend. Like, what? That'll be another story time. I just don't understand. I'm trying to do these as graceful as possible because, you know, like, I'm not a mean person. I don't like to talk bad about people, but I'm not afraid to spill the truth. And like, right out of high school, no one probably knows who I'm talking about, but basically this whole encounter with this girl lasted like a year and a half, I swear. It's like she forgot me and my best friend at the time literally like lived through each other. Like, everything I knew, she knew. Like, it was like our lives were one, you know? So pretty much the craziest part of all that was just the fact that she still had a boyfriend. It's one thing if you're still hung up on your ex and like you miss him and are trying to ruin someone's relationship, but you have a boyfriend. And there's been other weird allegations with that relationship, but that's not for me to talk on. But I'm ready to go. I actually really like my makeup today. I think it looks super cute and summery. So I hope you guys have a great day. There's a little story time for you guys. I hope you like it. Peace out. Love you. Bye.
This is a story time about the worst ever date I ever went on, and no, it wasn't with my stalker. It was actually a completely different person. If you can even believe that, like, my luck. Set the scene, okay? I'm young, I just got out of a relationship, and I'm trying to mingle, you know, get to know people. I had heard of this guy through, like, friends, and I thought he was cute through Instagram. Little did I know I got hatfished. Like, it was completely not cute when the hat was off. He messages me on Instagram as all amazing first dates happen, and he's like, hey babe, you're so cute, wanna go on a date? You guys know me. What did I do? I folded and I said yes. At this point, I wasn't completely over my ex, so I felt like everything was giving me the ick, and honestly, I was kind of nervous to go on this date because obviously you don't know what a person really looks like until you meet them. My little shallow ass was trying to get a grasp on if I was even gonna think he was cute in person or if I was gonna get the ick, so I literally asked him, how tall are you? And he was like, 6 foot. I'm like, period. So I finally decided to let this guy pick me up because I knew people he knew, and I felt like I was pretty positive that he wouldn't be an absolute weirdo. Boy, was I wrong. He comes to my house and I walk outside, and his car is really freaking nice, especially for our age. Like, I was shocked at how nice the car was. I mean, this is a turn on not because I'm like a gold digger, but because I like to see that someone has like a work ethic and that they like take pride in the things that they have, whatever. Hop up in the car ready to be a little passenger princess, and I start talking to him. I'm like, hey. And like, he's nice, right? Like, he's chatting with me. We're having like a nice little cordial conversation, and then I look at the cup holder. There's just like a bottle of Henny on deck, and I'm not new to this. I'm from New York, so I know that like Henny is like a little clothing accessory for men out here, but like, I didn't think that was the vibe. At this point, I still didn't know where we were going on our date. He kind of made it like it was a surprise, so I asked. I'm like, where are we going? Where I'm from, there's this thing called a garbage plate, and a garbage plate is kind of like a mixture of a bunch of foods, and you go to garbage plate places when it's like late at night or when you're drunk, so he decides he wants a garbage plate, and I'm like, okay. Get to the garbage plate place, right? And he gets out of the car, and he comes to open my door. As you could have probably guessed, he was not 6 foot tall. He was shorter than me, and I was kind of like, red flag number 1, you lied about your height. Why? Why did you lie about it? The thing is like, I'm not against a short king. Like, I've been with shorter people and it's never really been a problem, but like, why lie? Why did you lie about it? Walk inside and we order our garbage plates, and then we sit down, and then he's like, oh, I have to run out to my car real quick. I'll be right back. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. He's gone outside for like 10 minutes, and I'm just texting my girlfriends like, yeah, this is probably not gonna work. Comes back inside and we eat our garbage plates, and then I'm just kind of like, I need an excuse to leave. So I'm like, oh, my mom wants me to come home. She needs help with something. Like, visibly disappointed and angry by this, and I'm just kind of like, oh my god, this is getting scary. Like, please just take me home. We get in the car and we start driving back to my house, and I happen to look over at the Hennessy bottle. The formerly full Hennessy bottle. And it is now empty, like fully empty. And I'm just like, okay, I'm on a date with a fire-breathing dragon. How did he just drink all of that? And also, why is he risking my life? Literally gets so much worse. Go to part 2.
Y'all get ready with me. Our birthday dinner. Plus story time on my first heartbreak. Alright, so this is like, what, like 5th grade? Alright, so me and this kid, we was dating from like 5th grade to freshman year. And then we was like on and off though. It was on and off, but basically we was like damn near together. I guess you could say we was together for like a good few years. It was just on and off, but like we was like still talking, you know when you have that person that's just still there. Anyways, not the point. So here and there, right? This was like towards I would say 8th grade. No, I'm lying. I'm freshman year. We're in high school. Freshman in high school. And, couples are obviously doing different things, whatever. More grown stuff, I guess you could say. But, mind you, we was together, right? We used to go to school together in the Bronx. I was living in the Bronx. And then now I moved to Connecticut. So, I was in Connecticut and he was still in the Bronx. So, it was hard. Like, the commute was, like, bad, right? So, anyways, yeah. So, we barely saw each other. And when we did see each other, it was, like, once in a while. And my sister would take us. Shout out to my girl, the deals. But anyways, yeah, so we would see each other. And then he would say, like, this kind of threw me off because what? So here and there, he would mention to me, like, doing a do. And I was like, no, like, I'm not ready for that. I was like, freshman year was what? I don't know, like, I'm 18. Probably like 15, 14. Why not, like, opening my legs to a 14-year-old boy? We was talking for a long time, but still, like, we was mad young. So, it's like, what are we really doing right now? And plus, that we barely saw each other. So, it was just, like, we're getting older. But as we're getting older, we're really not seeing each other. So, it didn't really make sense. Like, I feel like, never mind. No. So, anyways, anytime he kept asking me, like, oh, like, talking about it, I was just like, no, I'm not ready for that yet, blah, blah, blah. And he would be like, oh, like, there's people who I hang around that do that, and their girlfriends do that, whatever. Okay, that's not me. Hello? If you want to do that, you go do that. And I gave him I was like, if you really want to go do that, we're gonna break up, because I'm not gonna lead you on and say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, and we never do it. I'm not doing that. Especially now, no, 14, 15, and we barely saw each other. It's just stupid. So yeah, anyway, so he would like bring it up here and there, and I'll just be like, no, every single, like, there was never not one time I was like, okay, maybe I'll think about it. No, it was always no, I'm not ready. And he was like, okay, I'll just stop asking. I'll just wait for you to let me know when you're ready. Boom. Weeks later, he asks again, girl, is you dumb? I just said no. It's like he would bring up the topic and over and over again. I was just like, bro, no. And I'm like, listen, we've been together for a while. He kept bringing that. He was like, we've been talking for a while. We was best friends for a while, this and that. And I feel like if you would show your, like, he was like, I feel like if you love me, you will do it. And I'm like, first red flag, because what? How you forcing me to show my love in that kind of way? Like, what if I don't want to do that? What if I want to show my love in a different way, We kids. Why are you asking me that, And he knew I kept telling him I'm not one of them girls to be just opening my coochie to anyone. And it wasn't even anyone. It was, obviously, I was talking to the kid, and I was with the kid for a few years, but still, we're not doing that. We're not having no damn sex. So anyways, time went on, and I was going to school in Connecticut, and he started high school in the Bronx. And, girl, this is the dumbest thing ever. But we told each other, like, oh, we're not gonna talk to anybody new here, like, not make any friends. And why did I agree to that? Because red flag number 2. Girl, what is wrong with you? How I can't make any friends out here? Like, girl, I just moved here. I need to make friends. How you gonna stop me from trying to talk to people? Just like, whatever. I was young, freshman. Girl, shut up. Leave me alone. Mind you, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably part of the reason why I said no, was because, like, honestly, first of all, if I was to say yes, where we do it? Can't go to your house. You can't come to mine. Both don't got no money for no damn hotel, so where would we do it? And you asking, you want to be so strong about us doing it, you might as well have the whole thing planned out if you really wanted to. Where the freak would we do it? And mind you, here and there we would have like little arguments or whatever, but it was just like little stupid arguments. So it's like, bro, like, come on, like, stop arguing. Nobody need to be arguing. We're 14. What you arguing for? You ain't paying no bills. Shut up. They're free. I just felt like if I was to say yes, I would have regretted it so bad. Especially doing it at a young age and not even doing it in the right way. I just regretted it so bad. Especially for my first time, you know? Like, that's no. Anyways, time and time goes by. I'm in like the middle of my freshman year, whatever, still barely talking to anybody. I mean, here and there I was talking to people. It was just like very, I was always a shy girl, but I didn't really talk to anybody. Anyways, so he can bring a topic up, bring it up, and I was just like, bro, just wait. Like, it will be worth it for both of us. Just wait. And he went to a different school, I went to a different school, and I felt like there was just people in his ear like, oh, she don't love you, she not gonna do it with you, blah, blah, blah. And it was just, I feel like they was really manipulating him or whatever, and I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, if he asks me again, come on, like, I already told you no. What are you still going on for? At that point, I just felt like he didn't really care, like, how I felt at the moment. He just wanted to do it and get out the way, and that even made me, like, want to say no even more. Just like, bro, like, why can't you just wait? Or if you want to do it so bad, I came back to him, like, do you want to do it with, like, some regular girl? You want to do it with someone that you know, somebody that you've been talking to for, somebody that you're close to, blah, blah. He was just like, somebody I'm close to. So I was like, okay, then. Why are you still asking me the same question? I'm telling you no. It just didn't add up. So anyways, fast forward. It came to a day where we got into a really bad argument, and he brought the topic again, and then I was just like, you know what, no, we're not doing it. Like, I'm done. This is done with, this and that. And I felt like, honestly, I was kind of hurt because he was, I don't know, it was just like, it was on the phone, and then he said something, and then I hung up, and I just felt tears coming down because I knew, like, at this point it was just over for us. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I actually really liked the kid, and I kind of thought that we would last a little bit longer, even though we was long distance, an hour away. And I was just like, damn, like, the reason we broke up is because of that. And I was just like, that's crazy, like, Anyway, so we was on the phone, right? And then I told, like, we hung up, and then I felt like he kind of knew that I was, like, really sad, and he called back, and then, I don't know, he said something, and I was just really quiet, and I was just, like, obviously, I was kind of tearing up. And mind you, I'm not a crier, like, at all. So I knew that, you know, like, it kind of hurt me. So, anyways, that happened, and then, mind you, nobody knew about this. Like, I didn't tell my mom nothing. And I feel like if I was her mom, she would have been told me to just, like, cut it off. And mind you, mom didn't even like him at all. So, child, it was just too many red flags, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing this to myself. I'm not gonna do that. So anyways, that happened, and obviously broke up and blah blah. The next day, I ended up going on a boat trip with my family, and like I remember that being on the boat, and I was just staring in the ocean, and I was just thinking about everything, and nobody knew that we broke up. And my mom didn't know, none of them knew, but obviously I feel like they all knew that I kind of felt some way, but they just didn't know why. It was just, yeah. But anyways, maybe it happened for a reason, because honestly, I would have definitely regretted it if I said yes, and I was just like, I know. But anyways, let me get back to you when I finish my whole glam and put my dress on.
Get rid of me when I tell a story about drama with my first boyfriend in 5th grade. So everyone in my 5th grade class was pretty close, and at the time Musical.ly was very popular, and we had a group chat on Musical.ly. There was this guy in my class, I'm gonna call him Messi, because he was a soccer player, and that's like the only soccer player name I know. And we liked each other, so on Musical.ly we would like text, and I don't know, he ended up asking me to be his girlfriend, and I was just like, oh my god, yes. In the group chat, we were playing Truth or Dare, and someone dared Messi to kiss me, and Messi was really like, he didn't care, like, he was a daredevil, so he was like, yeah, like, he said yes. And then over here I'm like freaking nervous, like, I didn't really want to, but at the same time I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get my first kiss. So we were supposed to plan it the next day. At school, our teacher wasn't there, and then we go out for recess, and I was playing basketball with my friends because that's what we did all the time. And then my friend Carolani, I'm just gonna say her name because it doesn't matter anymore. She went up to me, and then she was like, go to the tree, like, you're gonna go get kissed by Messi. Like, I forgot, she wasn't saying exactly that, but that's basically what she was saying. So then I was like, no, like, I don't want to, like, I was nervous. I finally get there, and there's all these, like, people around, and there's also the 2nd grade class. They weren't supposed to be there. That was the big kid playground, but they're there. We went behind the tree, and then everyone's like, do it, telling Messi, and I'm over here just, like, they're standing, like, like, all awkward. He ended up kissing my cheek. It was pretty slobbery, not gonna lie. And then that was it. Like, we literally went away from each other after. Carolani's little brother, he was a 2nd grader, I think, or I don't know what grade it was. And he went to his teacher and told him that he saw the big kids kiss. And I was freaking nervous when Carolani told me that her brother went to go tell. And she was laughing. I was like, girl, it's not funny. Like, it's not funny. So nothing happened. And then the next day came around. And then we're going out to recess again. And my teacher runs in with the 2nd grade teacher, and they started talking. Like, my teacher was like, guys, keep going outside. I'll meet y'all over there. So I was like, oh my god, she's telling her. But then nothing happened, so I was like, oh, maybe she didn't tell her. And then we went back to class, and everything was normal. And then I hear her call Messi's name. I was like, oh my god, like, it's happening. So they're out there for a while, and then after he came back in, she called me and Carolani's name. And then she was just basically asking us, like, what's going on, like, what happened. She was like, did you want to kiss him? And I was like, no, not really. And then she was like, well, why did he then? I was like, because someone dared us. And at the time, I didn't realize the reason that he was getting in trouble was because I guess it wasn't consensual. I didn't realize that at the time. Now that I'm older and looking back at it, that's probably why it was such a big deal. And my teacher was like, so why did you go over there then? And I was like, because Carolani kept pushing me and kept telling me to go. And I told her no, but she kept pushing me over there, and I went. So then obviously Carolani's like, no, I didn't, not wanting to get in trouble. I was like, yes, you did do it. So I was super scared she was going to tell my parents. And I'm Mexican, so, like, you don't, like, you know if you know.
I tried to get revenge by cheating on my boyfriend. Turns out I was just the one in the wrong. Story time. So my boyfriend Steve, who I love so much, was on a work training trip. He was supposed to come home on Wednesday evening. But I spent literally the whole day getting ready. I wanted to be my best self. Because he'd been away a while, you know? That was until I got a call from him telling me that his flight was delayed till the next day. And that was when I heard a woman's voice in the background. And she said, let's go back to the hotel. I was furious. I was like, this boy has been cheating on me whilst I've been out here trying to make myself look 10 times hotter than I already did. I told my best friend to tell her boyfriend to bring his hottest friend. That night, me and the friend got spicy. The next day, Steve arrived at my house. I was supposed to pick him up from the airport, but I left that cheating boy at the airport. I was not giving him any lifts. I answered the door in just my t-shirt. He tried to kiss me, but I was having none of it. He asked if I was pissed off because he was a day late. And I was like, no, Steve, I'm pissed off because you cheated on me. I heard the other woman's voice. He swore that nothing happened and that the voice was actually a co-worker's wife. And I was giving him all the sass. I was like, okay, Steve, whatever. I was going in on this poor guy. Before he left, he apologized and said that he did not cheat on me and he would never cheat on me. He said he can completely understand how it sounds. And he even left a phone number in my phone so I could ring the guy's wife if I needed to. He then went on to show me his call log and showed me that I was the only person that he'd called that night. And it was at this point that I realised I had messed up. The wife told me literally the exact same thing as what Steve had said. She even went on to tell me how Steve had been turning down other women at the bar, he'd been showing everybody pictures of me, and now I really don't know what to do because I cheated on my boyfriend because I thought he cheated on me, and he still doesn't know. Why would you move so quick? I admire the level of proactiveness here, girl, but you've got to let him say his piece first. You are in a lot of mess. And if it was so easy for you to make that decision to just cheat on him like that, relationship needs to end. Let me know what you think in the comments.
In high school, I was dating this boy and he effed all of my friends. I don't want to make this a hate page about all the people that I mess with and like what the hell they did to me. But listen, we're talking our shit today. So I was dating this boy who went to a different school than me. We didn't go to the same school. I'm a girl that believes sadly, whoever I want, I will get. And this is someone that I've wanted for like 3-4 years, okay? So when I got the chance, I took it immediately. I don't trust people, but I really seriously trusted him. Like, I felt like there was no wrongdoing that he can do. At the same time, I was just looking for someone to give me that satisfaction of wants and needs. But there were so many red flags, and I just want to tell y'all, if there's a red flag, that is a sign right there, because I had like 8 of them, and I was just like, for one, I was never posted on social media, which, like, I'm not a big person that posts my relationship on social media, but I make it known that I'm in a relationship. Red flag 2, when I posted him on social media, that shit needs to be deleted ASAP. And I was just like, oh, he doesn't like being posted on social media, it's okay. Red flag 3 was always not appropriate talking. Like, it always had to be nasty in some sort of way. Like, you can have a, hey, how was your day? He was rude to my parents when he came over. Not like rude, but he was like, he didn't have manners. So he was like, yo, pass me that shit. And I should have known, bitch, don't ever talk to my parents like that ever again. That is literally a wish to right then and there. He never ever wanted to like go out in public. It was always like my house, his house, which I wasn't allowed at his house at the time, but he was allowed at my house and we had to be downstairs. This boy that was at my school told me that he was cheating on me, and I said, no, he's not. Like, you're lying, you're a liar, you just want to break us up because you want me. That was my mindset. Bitch was still Lulu. He came to my friend's house. He literally said, bitch, suck my. And I was like, I was stuck. I was like, bitch, what do I do? My friend looked at me like, girl, if you don't do it. I was like, girl, take me home. Call my mama, please. So let's just stop there. This is where the tea gets a little hot. So I'm at my friend's house and this girl DMs me. And she's like, oh, do you and this person date? And I was like, yeah, like, why? And she's like, oh, we're going to the movies on this day. She wasn't doing it in a girl, I'm letting you know type of way. She was letting me know, like, bitch, I know you guys are together, but I don't give a fuck, and I'm going to still mess with him type energy. So I was just like, wow, I was heartbroken. I called my parents. I was like, what the heck do I do? Like, he literally is cheating on me. I stayed because he's my bestie and I loved him. Even though, like, you know, he would hang up on me and say that his mom was calling, but wouldn't call back for 5 more hours. As I'm talking to, like, more of my friends about the situation, they're like, do you know that, this girl did the thing with him? Which was my friend at the time. And I was like, you're kidding. I am not a person that believes in lick backs, but this was a lick back that needed to happen. So I did do a lick back, and I don't regret it. I'm not talking my shit to, like, be mean or, like, be hateful or spiteful. I'm talking my shit for my girls to be like, if you're dating with someone and they cheat once, best believe they're going to do it again. I seriously just want all my girls good. If you find out that your significant other's cheating, oh my god, do not act crazy. If you act crazy, it's just going to make you look freaking psychotic. You're gonna come home, or you guys are gonna hang out, and you're gonna do something real sexy, real nice, real good, real juicy for them. Well, however your significant other cheated, portray it as a different person. Be like, so my friend told me how this one person went to this party and was up on this girl and left with her and da-da-da. And if you have proof, be like, look, show them. Show them! God, I wish I was there. I wish I was there while you guys did it, because that shit would have been so, it would have been like, in the backseat, like, girls, we all been through it. You're not alone. I promise you. I love you.
I got followed while living in LA. Get ready with me, story time! A quick little backstory if you are not aware. I lived in Los Angeles for about 8 months until I moved back to where I am currently at. And one thing I can tell you about living in LA is I hated it. Around August of this year, I ended up going to a bar with a friend slash co-worker. We went to a bar in Hollywood. My friend and I go straight to the bar, and I end up meeting this bartender. And this bartender and I became really good friends. So my friend and I went to that bar once, and then a couple months later, I want to say towards like September, late September, went back to the specific bar. And obviously because at this point I had already made friends with the bartender, I felt a little bit more comfortable going to this bar and knowing people out in LA, you know? In my opinion, it's extremely difficult to make genuine friendships out in LA. And just the way the conversations with this guy were flowing. I knew he was a good person, and so obviously like I kept him around, and to this day we're still friends, but we don't speak on a daily basis. Anyways, so I am at the bar, and at this bar there are two sections. There's a bar towards the very entrance, and there is a bar behind the entrance. This day my friend was at the back bar, so that's where we ended up going. There was also like a party going on, but it was a party where someone like rented out this space, but the bar was like still open, if that makes sense. So like the people that were at the party were still able to go out and mingle with like the public. Hope I'm making sense. I began to order a drink with my friend, and then I noticed that a guy from that specific private party ended up coming to the girls and I, and he quickly introduced himself. I want to say he was roughly like my age or maybe a year younger. If you guys do not know, I'm 23 years old. As my friend is making this order, he starts to observe the way this guy is speaking to my friends and I. But I will say I started to notice that he was mainly focusing on having conversations with me instead of my friends. My friend started to notice that he wanted to have more of a private conversation with me. During that conversation, I felt very uncomfortable because this man was very pushy. He started to flex his career, his money, and honestly, I get the ick when somebody tries to flex their money because I am extremely independent, and when a guy starts off a conversation with, oh, you're gonna be good if you have me by your side, I make this much money, like look at my jewelry, that is such a turnoff for me. And it's like he could have said, oh, my favorite color is this, and my birthday is on this, you know, my favorite hobbies or activities are this, you know, like questions to actually get to know a person, not just kind of flash what you have. And that tends to happen a lot in LA. No tea, no shade, but a lot of girls do love that and fall for that. I'm not that girl. I'm not a city girl. Keep me away from LA. I would never be there unless I have things to do. You best believe I would drive an hour back to my city and be at peace where nobody bothers me. There's not really any weird men over here, so LA is not for me. I want you guys to keep in mind that while this guy and I are having this conversation, the bartender, my friend, is still making our drinks, and he is such an observant person. Like, this guy has my back. So he was listening and paying attention to the conversation. It was one of those situations where if he knew I felt uncomfortable or if I threw out a signal, like, he would catch on. This guy and I start to conversate for another 3 minutes, and at this point my friends had told me that they were gonna go to the restroom, and I told them that it was fine because I had my bartender friend, so it's not like I was really gonna be alone. We were having the conversation literally at the bar, so I knew if something was gonna happen, like, my friend and other people were gonna be there, so I let them go to the restroom. It's not like they abandoned me, you know. At this point, my bartender friend was done making the drinks, and that's when I told myself, I was like, okay, I need to signal somebody because I'm feeling very uncomfortable. This man at this point is like forcing me to put my number in his phone. Like, this man literally took his phone and was like, here, put your number in, give me your phone so I can also put my information on your phone, that way we can hang out, you can hit me up. Like, that man was so obsessed with me. He was so pushy to the point where I started to get really uncomfortable, but I didn't want him to know that I was feeling uncomfortable. In a way, I kind of was like, okay, let me, you know, have my own plan and abort from this man ASAP. My friends ended up coming back from the restroom, and they noticed in my face how uncomfortable I was, so they immediately snatched me out of that conversation, which I was extremely grateful for. The girls and I ended up going to another section, and the section was still very close to where my bartender friend was at. I remember this guy kind of was shook. He kind of was like, oh, what the heck, like, why did they just take her? So because he was not okay with my friend snatching me, 5 minutes later he goes back to us and goes, oh, hey, we never finished our conversation, can we continue talking? And my friends go, no, leave her alone. And I'm like, these are my girls. He just kept looking at me from the distance like, what's going on? Are we gonna have our conversation? Like, he was looking at the phone because I gave him a fake number, and he put his number in my phone, but I never called him or texted him because, one, I wasn't interested, and two, you already gave me the ick trying to flex your money. So because this guy was supposed to be at this private party event, and obviously he was closer to the bar where my friend was working. I ended up going to the other bar to get another drink, and sure enough, I just feel somebody like following me and staring at me. So I ended up turning around, and sure enough, me walking towards the other bar is the guy walking right behind me, still trying to get my attention. And so then I was like, oh my god, like this is awkward. But the thing that I didn't know was my bartender friend, although he was working on the other side, he was still keeping an eye out for me. Bless that man's soul. My bartender friend knew that this guy was like following me, or he was obsessed with me. It got to the point where I left the bar after getting the second drink. I went to the girls, and then I was like, I need to go to the restroom. So I went to the restroom, and that guy followed me to the restroom because he needed to use the restroom as well. So at this point, again, like my friend started to observe that, and obviously was observing it too, but I didn't want to give him like the attention, so I was just ignoring him. But I feel like the more that I was ignoring him, the more he was going after me.